Hey guys, it's Valley, and we're here with another segment of Milk and Tea. Today we're going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of breastfeeding while in public. So I'm going to give you guys 5 do's and 5 don'ts to make your guys' experience better to nurse your baby in public.
My cousin had a baby, and I was watching her breastfeed for a couple of bucks, and I'll tell you, ladies, it's amazing.
So my first do for you guys is to know your rights. A lot of people have had controversial feelings about breastfeeding in public. When I first breastfed my son over 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago, I wasn't as comfortable or knowledgeable or experienced in breastfeeding as I am now. And sometimes I'd feel uncomfortable and putting on the wrap over me, I was just like, oh, and I was always worried about what people were thinking. So knowing your rights as a mom who's breastfeeding your baby will make you a lot more comfortable. It is legal to breastfeed in public. It is not considered public indecency. You have the right to breastfeed your baby. If you're at a restaurant and the restaurant's okay with a baby being fed by a bottle, then it should be equally okay for a baby to be fed by the breast. Personally, Kenny is having the utmost problems and struggle with getting her back on the bottle. She has not taken a bottle since she was 9 weeks, and now I'm trying to reintroduce her to that so that I can work and go out more, and she will refuse it. So you cannot starve your baby when you're out going in public just because, people are feeling uncomfortable. So understand that you are allowed to breastfeed your baby. You are entitled to feed your baby in public. Some states require businesses to give breastfeeding mommies a certain allowed amount of time to pump when they're not with their baby. Now, if you were to go to a business or a company and they asked you to leave because you were breastfeeding in public and they said they were not comfortable with that, that is considered discrimination. It is not correct, not right, and it is against the law for anybody to tell you you are not allowed to be in that store or business or anything because you are nursing your child. So understand that you are entitled to be able to nurse your baby anywhere at any time. Now, different laws further support breastfeeding mommies to another level. My next do not for you guys is to not be discouraged. Do not give up. If people say something, personally, I have never had anybody come up to me and tell me, oh my gosh, you shouldn't nurse your baby here. That's inappropriate. Like, nobody has had the nerve to come up to me and say things like that. But if anybody makes you feel some kind of way, do not be discouraged, you guys. This is feeding your baby. Like, for people to come and sexualize the whole idea of you nursing your child is something wrong within themselves. That is nothing wrong with you. The most natural and organic way to feed your baby is to nurse them. So keep pushing through, keep a strong mind and know that you're doing this for your child. And no matter what people say or think, it is a no reflection of you. That is a personal issue they have with themselves, and it should not keep you from providing your child with the best nutritional option for food. I just love the way she looks at me when she's eating. It's like the best. Another do for you guys is to practice at home. So the more you practice at home, the more you're comfortable with nursing your baby. Obviously, it's more difficult when you have a newborn because they have their eyes closed, they're less aware of their surroundings, their vision isn't as great, they don't know your body as well. So it takes some practice to have your baby latch onto the nipple. Now, since my daughter's a little over 4 months right now, she finds it on her own. Like, I'll pop her down like this and she'll be like, and just pop it in her mouth like real easy. Like, I don't even have to tell her or show her or direct her. It's just so much easier that way. So practice at home to make you feel more comfortable on getting your baby to latch properly for when you guys are in public to make it a swifter process. My second do not put your baby or nurse in an area that is distracting. Now, Kenny is more aware of her surroundings, so this is less likely to happen with newborns because they just love to sleep and close their eyes and eat and sleep all day. But when your baby is more aware and gets older, colors, moving things, everything becomes distracting. So you want to make sure you try and put yourself in a nice isolated area that has less distractions so that your baby won't keep pulling off, delatching. Kenny is always like looking around, trying to pull it out. Like, she is so sophisticated now and intricate with her fingers. Like, she will grab, as you can see, she will grab and she will just pull it out and then look around and then pop it back in her mouth. Like, she is just too smart for her own good. But it's just easier if you're in an area and try to isolate yourself. So if you're at a park, go to a bench by yourself. If you're at a restaurant with a whole bunch of family, try and get a separate table away from a crowd or something to try and accommodate your baby so that they can focus on eating. My next tip for you guys is to be comfortable. Now, if you're not comfortable breastfeeding then in public, then don't just jump right into it, popping it out in all these public places. Make sure that you're comfortable, and that goes for the clothes that you're wearing, for the location that you're at, the people that you're around. You feel standoffish about who you're around and it just doesn't like feel right to you, then you know there's no pressure in it. Like, you got to take baby steps in order to make it to feeling completely comfortable and not giving a hoot about who's looking. So be comfortable is super important because you want to make sure that your baby's full. You want to make sure baby and mommy's happy. So your comfortability is the utmost importance. My next don't for you guys is do not wait for your baby to be crying or upset or frustrated when you're nursing in public, because it will draw more attention to you. You want this to be quick and swift, and you want your baby to be happy. You want to be happy. Draw less attention to yourself. Just make it swift. When your baby start giving their cues to be hungry, feed that baby. The baby hungry, feed that baby. Don't make the baby cry, okay? I hate hearing my daughter cry, so I know you guys must feel the same way about your baby. My next do is to get support. And what I mean by getting support is to kind of create a buddy system. So if you have a friend or you have your mother or you have a family member that you're comfortable with nursing around and you're out in public or you're at a park or you're at a restaurant or you're someplace, ask your friend to come and sit with you and stand with you or wherever to make you feel more comfortable and not be alone, because it can be more intimidating to be by yourself and breastfeed if you're not comfortable with it already. Like I said, I don't care, you guys, like I'll do it, like I'll whip it out anywhere, but you know, not everybody is at that, and that is okay. Like, if you're not comfortable, try and find ways to make it comfortable. So if having somebody else there for you makes it feel better, another mommy makes you feel more comfortable, try that. Like, having a support system is very important. Like, having other people encourage you to breastfeed and nurse your baby is a great thing to have, you guys. So utilize it. Utilize that support system. Another don't for you guys is to not feed your baby in the bathroom. That is nasty, you guys. Like, it is not a designated area for people to eat. If you will not eat in the bathroom, do not nurse your baby in the bathroom. Like, how gross would it be if somebody was taking a dump while you were nursing your baby? Like, ew. Like, and imagine like smelling that and like feeding your baby. Like, it's just don't do it, okay? Find areas. Don't be scared to ask. Don't be scared to look around for a good area for you to nurse. But the bathroom is not it, ladies. So my last do for you guys is to please do wear comfortable clothing. Things that are easy to pop it out, things that are easy to nurse your baby without having to lift up your shirt, without having to have your baby just covered in stuff. Like, layers are a great way to nurse your baby out in public. So for example, if I'm wearing like a button up like this is a great thing to wear, especially when it's a little nippy outside. It's springtime and overcast today, so I am wearing a button up. But if you wear a button up, you can easily just button it down. If you want, you can also wear a tank top underneath so that you'll have some layers to have underneath you. Also, other things is dresses, V-necks. There are different things that you can wear in order to pop it out and make it easy and convenient for you to nurse your baby, so that if you are wearing a cover to cover your baby, then you're able to still maneuver easily underneath your cover. Now, for my next video next week, or hopefully next week because I'm waiting on something to come in the mail, but my next video I'm going to be doing a lookbook on breastfeeding friendly outfits for you guys. So all these bomb outfits that don't look like an old tired mommy but fly and cute and appropriate, conservative, fun, all kinds of different looks for you guys to feel comfortable in breastfeeding in public. Another don't for you guys is to not cover your baby with a cover when it's extremely hot outside. My daughter, she doesn't even like to have a cover on her period. She'll start waving her hands up in the air and like trying to fling it off, and it just sometimes, I think she feels like she's smothered. The only time I really use a cover when I'm out is when it's like sunny outside, when it's windy outside, so she won't be gasping up all this air in while she's eating. Or like when I'm around like certain family members, just to be respectful, you know, like I don't want to just be whipping it out and around certain people. Funny thing, like when I was with my daughter's father and we were visiting his family, I was about to nurse my daughter, and this is when she was 2 months. I was about to nurse my daughter and I put the cover on because he had his little siblings there and I just wanted to be respectful. And I put the cover on and Kennedy started going crazy because she really does not like being covered. But she was going crazy and her dad started freaking out and was like, oh my gosh, you're smothering my baby. Let me help you, let me help you. I'm like, I got this, I got this. And he was like, no, let me help you. So he had to grab the cover and was like holding it like a little umbrella over us while I got Kenny to latch perfectly, and she calmed down. He was just really like intense. I was cracking up, and at the same time I was like, dude, chill out. I've been doing this like a long time. But yeah, so like if your baby will let you know if they don't want to be covered. Like some babies just don't want to be covered. So do not force it, you guys. Don't. Look at Kenny looking at the camera. Well, that concludes this segment of Milk and Tea, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to the 5 do's and 5 don'ts of breastfeeding while in public. Do not give up, do not give up, do not give up. If you exclusively breastfeed like I do with my baby girl, you cannot give up and just not breastfeed her because you're out in public. You have to go places. Like eventually you have to leave the house. Eventually you have to run an errand. Eventually you have to go grocery shopping or something. And not all the time you just want to go to your car and turn the AC up so that you can nurse your baby. Like it's just inconvenient. It's not right. And just understand that you are entitled and you have the right to feed your baby. So keep trying, keep at it, get tough skin. Don't worry about what other people think, and don't give up, you guys. I hope it helps you feel a little bit more comfortable. Hope you get that practice in and you're able to tell people to F off if they have a problem with it. All right, guys, see you later.
You're making a track, you idiot! Just leave! Go! You suck, Mom! You're my one true love, my heart, my